Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Game of Cryptos. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know I did not give that much of a notification about going live today. It was kind of just random. But anyways, having said that, um, I just wanted to kind of go over in this live, just some of the things that are going on in the market. Just what I think it's going to happen, how I think things are going to play out for the rest of this year and into 2025. To kickstart things, guys, if you ever want to do a lot more analysis on, the market, Bitcoin, the price movements, the last previous bull runs and patterns and charts, go to bitbo.io, and you want to go and check out one of these charts right here. It is, if you go to price projection, you can go to cycle low multiple. I know a lot of you that have been tuning into my uploads, you guys know I've showed you guys this chart many times, but this one is showing you the previous bull runs, how high we went, how bullish were we, how it played out. And something that, again, I just really want to bring to your guys' attention. Let me try and shrink this down. So right here, this little white line that you can kind of barely see faintly, point zero, this point origin point is where the halvening starts. And as you can see from each cycle, from the first cycle, which is the blue one, from the second cycle, which is the orange line, and then from the previous cycle, back in 2021, which is the green line. As you can see, after the halvening, the Bitcoin, the market and Bitcoin went bullish. Yes, it took time. It didn't happen overnight, but as you can see, things are playing out very similarly to the previous bull runs. Yes, the red line is right now. The red line is this cycle. And as you can see, this year with the ETFs, the institutional adoptions, we got really bullish really quickly. And by doing that, I feel like it partially threw us off on this cycle by getting super bullish super quickly. People were predicting and expecting more gains on their altcoins sooner. But what I think has happened, and as I've stated many times in previous videos, is that we are kind of back on track towards what would seem like a regular cycle. Having said that, that means that we are still really early when it comes to our altcoins and seeing more bullish price action for Bitcoin. Now, as you can see over the cycles, that the amount of returns are lower, but as you can see with the red line, we're so early. Like, look how low this red line is. Like, presumably this line's gonna, you know, go around in this area, maybe intercross in between the green line and then go down. But you get the picture. Like, we're still going to be expecting a lot more liquidity in this market. So for those of you that are doubting and thinking that, oh, the cycle's over, it's going to top here in the next month or so, I really don't think so. Until otherwise, I think it's kind of on track to, kind of play out like normal. So moving on from that. So, and again, I appreciate you guys that are tuning in. I know a lot of people are probably at work or, whatever, school. So a lot of you are probably going to watch this later when you are available. But again, any of those that are watching now, I appreciate that as well. If you guys have any questions or comments, please chat them, and it'd be grateful to go over anything that you guys have questions on regarding the market and altcoins. Another site that I like to go to when it comes to kind of reviewing the market is Crypto Bubbles. Because Bubbles is very visual, so you can kind of see, what's performing well, what's maybe, what's down. Another thing that's really important and that I like to go over is, again, looking at how altcoins are pairing up against each other. How, especially against Bitcoin. for the year, Bitcoin's up 130%. Solana's up 673%. You have something like XRP, which is only up 15%. Again, this is really important when you're doing research, when you're going over altcoins, when you're thinking about, your investment thesis, when you're thinking about, okay, how do I want to build my portfolio, which cryptos am I going to be in? It's really important to see how altcoins are reacting to the market conditions and how they're reacting to what's going on with Bitcoin. If you continuously see an altcoin that never pumps, even in the most bullishness of environments or scenarios, that could be a sign that it might not perform well in this cycle. Again, nothing is guaranteed, but there is a chance that it might not perform well in the cycle. And it's just important to note that, because we are in crypto to make money. No one's investing to just only make 5% for a year. If that was the case, we can just go and invest in stocks. So let me take a minute. I think I just got a comment. Let's see. So Caspa Bull, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Let me get your comment up here on the screen. So you said, "Hi man, thank you for the live stream. Are we going to be able to swap Caspa? Are we going to be able to swap Caspa into Caspa memes on September 15th, or can we just amend?" Okay, so to be honest, I wish I knew more on this. I have not been up to date with everything going on with Caspa. I've obviously I know about Caspa and whatnot, but the meme part and what's going on the 15th, I actually have not heard too much about that, so I do apologize on that. But what I will say about, just the whole Caspa and Caspa meme things, obviously with meme coins, we want to be careful, because anything can happen with memes. You can make life-changing gains on memes, or you can lose a lot of your money. But obviously, I do think that Caspa, let me go and pull up the Caspa chart here real quick. So Caspa, guys, I have so much to say about Caspa, and for full disclosure, yes, I do own Caspa. Caspa right now is sitting at about 16 cents, and it's at a $4 billion market cap. Guys, yeah, someone new in the market might look at Caspa and be like, oh, it's already at 4 billion. Why would I want to invest in it? The reason why, not financial advice, but why you might want to potentially consider Caspa is it's an L1, and L1s have performed really well in previous bull runs. I mean, just look at Solana last cycle, look at Cardano, look at Ethereum. L1s do really well. They get a lot of market capture. And Caspa is one of those L1s that has a lot of backing, has a big community. A lot of people believe in this crypto. And like I've said time and time again, and I'm sure you've heard other people say, when people believe in something, when there's a narrative behind something, perception is reality. So if people think that this is the best L1, if people think this is one of the best cryptos, then if perception is reality, then it is, And those are the types of cryptos and the coin. Those are the ones that, again, not financial advice, but you might want to think about getting behind. So anyone that's looking into, Caspa today, I would tell them, hey, you're not late to the party. Obviously, it would have been great to be getting in Caspa, under a penny. Obviously, you would have been able to get way more, Caspa to your bags when you got it down here. But if you're someone that thinks that, Caspa can go to those levels of like where Solana went, the billions and billions of market cap, then yeah, I would say definitely think about getting into something like Caspa. It's a really strong L1 in my opinion. Let's go and look at, so if we go and look at Solana all-time high market cap in the last cycle was about 80 billion, And okay, so guys, are you telling me you don't think that there's a possibility that Caspa, which arguably has as much hype as something like Solana did last cycle, couldn't go to 80 billion? I would say that it's very possible. And also in this cycle, you've heard time and time again that this is a cycle where we might even see more liquidity. So the chances of it even surpassing 80 billion could be there. The potential is there. Maybe it could go to 100 billion. So I would say anyone looking into something like an L1 in your portfolio, definitely something like Caspa should be really considered. And then if you just look at the chart too, guys, Caspa has one of the most bullish charts that I've seen in crypto. Sometimes people say that a lot when it's like a meme coin, but like Caspa isn't a meme coin. Like this is purely just number go up over time. Up in a little bit of retracement, accumulation, up a little bit of retracement, accumulation, up a little bit of retracement, accumulation. And if history repeats, we're bound to surpass 20 cents and probably get closer to like 25 cents and into the 30s soon. And then continue on hopefully past $1, 2, 3, and wherever it's going to go at the end of this bull run. But yeah, Casper Bull, I do appreciate the comment. I wish I could talk more about the Caspa memes and what's going on September 15th, but maybe let me do a little bit more research on that, and I might be able to do a video for you on that. But again, just do your research when it comes to meme coins, because they're definitely gonna be volatile. There could be definitely be money to be made, but you just want to be careful. Okay, so moving on. So we have another comment from T13. OTK price prediction. So, okay, cool. I'm glad you brought up OTK. So from those of you that have followed my channel from like over a year ago, you guys know that at one point, hang on, I'm trying to bring up a chart here. At one point, a lot of YouTubers, people were talking about OTK because it was really hyped, and obviously it's seen a really huge retracement right now. But I believe OTK, if this is right, according to CoinMarketCap, is around a $10 million market cap. We should definitely double check that, because I know sometimes CMC is not right on market caps, but OTK is a very low market cap. So I'll get to your thing about prediction. So when it comes to crypto investing, one of the main things you want to look at is market cap. Okay, $10 million market cap. So it's low. So that means it has a higher ceiling. It has like the sky is open for where it can go. There's not necessarily maybe like a huge amount of sell pressure, because whales maybe own a crap ton of it, because this is its first cycle. It's new. So it's a low market cap. It's a new crypto, and it's gaming. And yes, gaming has kind of been bearish this year, but I really do think that when liquidity gets back in the market, you're going to see money flow in to gaming plays. OTK has a potential to do really well because it is on the Solana blockchain. And we know that Solana is doing extremely, it's one of the top L1s. If I was telling someone to, if someone came to me and like, hey, what L1s would you be potentially invested in or like in this cycle, I would definitely say Caspa, but Solana would be another one. Now, obviously, there's not as much gains that can be made with like Solana compared to a Caspa, but Solana and its ecosystem, and especially all the meme coins, I do think that when the market becomes extremely bullish, we are going to see money and liquidity flow into plays like OTK, into this gaming play, into this gaming hub. And to answer your question, okay, where do I see OTK going? Well, one of the things that you want to compare to is, previous like gaming plays and their market caps. So Gala, obviously there's been a lot of Like FUD with Gala, a lot of people kind of gave up on it. It went to about a $5 billion market cap. Another one that got a lot of hype was Axie Infinity. And let's see here. So Axie went to about like a 10 billion, but that was like one of the best case scenarios. So where do I potentially see OTK going? So if OTK were to 10x from here, that would be about a 33 cent, and that would be $100 million market cap. And then if it were to 100x, you would be looking at a $3.33 OTK, and that would be at $1 billion. So I would say, again, I'm not trying to give any hopium, but the most bullish case scenario, like, I don't like necessarily giving price predictions because I don't want to like lead you guys in the wrong direction. But the most bullishness, it could 100x. But again, just remember, guys, the more risk you take, the more chances that you have. Obviously, you can make more money, but you can also lose that. But if I was getting into, if I'm getting into gaming, something like OTK would definitely be on my radar. Right now, my only gaming play at the current moment is Myria. I'm still hopeful that Myria does really well, but OTK, if you want like a proxy play against Solana, this would definitely be one to look into. So I hope that kind of answers your question. Basically, what I'm trying to get at for OTK and the price prediction is I definitely don't see it going anywhere past, Axie Infinity and Gala levels. So like 5 billion is out of the question. Now, if you're talking 2.5 billion or lower, then you're on. So maybe between like a $1 billion market cap, I would say would possibly be the max. And this is in the most bullish scenario. And obviously the only way things like this can happen is if Bitcoin goes crazy, has a blow off top, goes to like 150 plus. So if Bitcoin doesn't do anything crazy this bull run, then obviously we're not going to make as many gains as we would like in this bull run. So I hope that makes sense. But I do like OTK. That is something that has been on my radar to go and pick up as another potential gaming play. But right now, like I said, it's Myria. I had also been looking at Nakamoto Games. I had talked about that a lot on my channel back in the day too. Obviously now this one did have a previous cycle back in 2021. But again, gaming, I do think is going to have another run, and this could definitely be a potential. I know another one that a lot of people are into right now, Heroes of Mavia. I haven't done too much research on this. I do hear a lot of other people talking about this. Again, there's potential here with this too. So just do your research, guys, and like always, don't be too heavily invested in multiple like 10 different gaming picks, 10 meme coins, 10 layer ones. Like really narrow it down to get your conviction. That's just my advice, because then you have more allocation towards those stronger picks. So T13, another comment from you. So you asked what's my favorite, what are my favorite AI coins? So my favorite, so you have to, I feel like to know where this answer comes from is just to know where I'm coming from. So obviously, like a lot of people talk about, I think it's like AGI, AI tech. But for me, those aren't necessarily my favorites. I really like the Tau. Tau is one of my big ones. I know for some, maybe you're like, oh, that's kind of disappointing because it's not necessarily cheap. It's kind of high in price, and it is. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely cheaper than when it was at around $750. But obviously, the best time to get it, if you could have been getting it when it was like 60, 50. But I like Tau because it just seems like it is it just seems like I don't know, just something about Tao and what they're doing and decentralizing AI that it does seem, I hate to say it because I hear other people say it, but it does seem to be almost as if it's the Bitcoin of AI. Obviously, Tao is not a store of value, but the like Bitcoin is one of like it's the top dog. BitTensor, I believe, is I feel like from my point of view is one of the top dogs in the AI realm. Another one that I feel like some people kind of like to include it in the AI realm. I know it's like AI depend. It's a couple, maybe it's in a couple different areas. Render, I like Render. I was someone that actually was getting in Render when it was around $1. So uh, I'm doing pretty well, up about a 5x right now on that. At the highs, it was over a 10x. Render, I still think is going to push. I think Render is going to do really well. Jules Urbeck, the Otoy, Octane Render. It's this partnership it has with like Apple. I think Render is going to do really well. The GPUs. It's kind of like that new digital oil. Render is like the crypto version of what the Nvidia is, and Nvidia is not going to just collapse and just not be existent one day. Like, no, Nvidia is very relevant, and because Nvidia is relevant, I do think Render is going to be relevant. So as like an AI slash maybe depend play, I like Render. But yeah, for me, I kind of keep things really basic when it comes to my AI plays. I really like Tao, I really like Render, and I do own these. So of course, um, maybe I'm a little bit biased in like talking about it, but obviously it's just because I have conviction, and I want you guys to, have conviction in your guys' picks, even if it's not these. That's the most important thing when it comes to crypto and investing. It's not just following blindly what other people on YouTube or people here on Twitter, X, or whatever, and their plays. Like, it's what's most important is to just have conviction into whatever you pick, because then when the market's volatile, when we're in a low boring period, you don't get tempted to sell. You end up holding down, you have conviction, you buy more, and then next thing you know, you come out on top. You made way more money than when you came in. So yeah, BitTensor, Tao, Render. But again, I know other people talk about like AGI, AGI, AI tech. Those are other, I do think those are going to do really well. But these are just the ones that I would look into. So yeah, good question. But yeah, so going back to the video, some of the other points that I wanted to, let me get this chart up. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to go over, where is it at? So these are just pictures and images that I got off of X. If there is credit to give to some of these people, I will give it. Sometimes you just don't know where the source is. I think this picture is off of Luke Belmar, was one of the guys off of. He's really big in crypto. He made a post on this on X, and it just says, "Life is not boring. You're just poor." For me, I'm someone that lives by quotes daily. And sometimes I like to come across quotes that make you think, quotes that maybe initiate a reaction, or kind of like boil, like maybe like it makes you mad or angry. Because maybe how many of you have maybe just sat around, you're bored, you're like, man, I wish I had money to go and do this, to take this trip, to do that. Well, a lot of times it comes down to money, it comes down to finances, it comes down to not having enough. But guys, we have an opportunity when we're in investing. We have an opportunity being in crypto. If you are in crypto, you are doing something that not a lot of other people are doing. But there's good news with that. Yes, it's risky, but as you've heard, it can be risky to not be in the market. It can be risky to not invest. We're never going to be able to, with all the government printing and whatnot, it's going to be hard to outpace the rate of inflation if you're just putting money in the bank and you're just letting it sit. You're better off investing into things like crypto. Again, not financial advice, but you really need to, this is a time to dig deep and, just really kind of get angry and be like, you know what? I really want to make that life-changing wealth. I want to make that generational wealth. I'm going to do it somehow, some way. And I really want to, make crypto be that. That's the type of mentality to have. So use something like this to initiate a response to get you like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, life is not boring. You're just poor. Because when you have money, there's way more things that you can go and do. And obviously life is not all about money, but it can help pay the bills and make you feel and live comfortably. So just remember that. Another image that I thought was pretty cool, or interesting, thought provoking. This shows like a building is labeled fiat, and then you have this boat, Bitcoin. So basically, Bitcoin's a life raft, guys. It's saving you from drowning in debt, from drowning in government printed. When you are saving money in a bank account, you're just devaluing your money. The currency is being devalued because the government is they're printing, they're turning on the printer, they're just putting more in circulation. That's why goods and services, that's why things are going up, because they have an unlimited access to just put more money in the market. And that's why we're trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. And it's only going to affect the poor people than it is the rich people. It's going to further divide between the rich and the poor. So this is why we're in crypto. This is why, Bitcoin, at the end of the day, even if you don't have Bitcoin in your portfolio, just remember how important it is, because Bitcoin started it all. Bitcoin is, to me, the end goal. You take the money, you take the profits from this bull run when it peaks, whether it's earlier in 2025 or later in 2025, and you put it in Bitcoin. Again, not financial advice, but that's what I plan on doing. That's when I plan on getting more Bitcoin. And another thing dealing with like Bitcoin, as you can see here, this was a chart. I think this was one of the Altcoin Daily brothers tweeted this on Twitter, and it's just showing the market, the different asset classes like your retail, the stocks, the art, gold, global debt, and it's just showing you, where Bitcoin is on this scale and how it's just still so low, and basically just showing you how much farther it has and can go. But it's not just Bitcoin. It's showing you how much farther just crypto and this a new emerging tech and Web 3.0 can go, and how it can affect the cryptos that we're in today. If Bitcoin does well and Bitcoin goes up, then your altcoins, your favorite altcoins, eventually will hopefully go up as well. So it's just showing you that we are still super early, and the more money, the more liquidity that flows into Bitcoin will find its way and work it into some of your favorite altcoins. This chart right here, this is from the Bitcoin chart bot at Charts BTC. That's a source. This is just showing you again what I was kind of showing you guys earlier in the video at bitbo.io, just this cycle about how we're still early, and that, for those of you that think, oh, the cycle's not over, like, no, the last previous cycles prove that we still have a lot of time left. There's more gas in this tank for this cycle. All we need to do is see is Bitcoin go over 72, 73K, guys. Like, as soon as that happens, let me pull up the chart here. As soon as we see Bitcoin go over this yellow line, which is around 73K, guys, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. It's open sky. And this is when your altcoins are going to go absolutely crazy. So again, we're just in one of those positions where we just kind of have to, sit on our hands and wait for the market to come to us, and hopefully see those gains that we saw last cycle when we just saw that banana zone, just, things are going sideways and then all of a sudden just goes nuclear. So hopefully we're in store for that in 2025. Another thing that I wanted to just go over. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of other YouTubers talk about it, so I don't want to spend too much time. This is from the Polymarkets. This is just showing you kind of like the sentiment behind Trump and Harris, and are people leaning more towards Trump, Harris? Arguably, again, this only thing I'm going to say about the the elections and stuff. I think there is debate today, coming on in a couple hours, but I would say that for crypto, arguably Trump winning is going to be the best scenario for crypto. That's all I'm going to have to say on that. So obviously November and everything leading up to the elections is going to be very, very interesting, because we could be due for a really, that could get a lot of liquidity in the market, especially if Trump ends up winning, just my opinion. So we'll see what happens with that. Another thing in news, something doing with Bitcoin and Kaspa. So the hash rate. So Kaspa has been following a lot of the earlier like hash rate patterns of Bitcoin, which is just really interesting to see that. Kaspa is mirroring Bitcoin in so many ways, and a lot of people will make arguments that Kaspa is even better than Bitcoin. I don't want to like talk down on Bitcoin, because again, Bitcoin is a thing that is got us here today. Like there is no other cryptos without Bitcoin. Bitcoin was a trailblazer; it started it. But I definitely think we do live in a world where Kaspa can be there too as well. It can be another optional way to kind of preserve your wealth and put money into to see it go up over time. So it's going to be interesting to just see how that plays out. But I do think that Kaspa will be here, more than just a cycle. It'll be here for multiple cycles to come. And as more players like Marathon Digital and stuff get into the mining, it's going to be really interesting to see where the hash rate goes. And obviously, the higher the hash rate, the more we are contributing to the network and contributing to the security of the network and the decentralization. And then I believe, yeah, so this is the last these are just kind of like news points and just things to kind of chat about, because again, guys, the market has still been kind of boring just because of the Bitcoin price action. Render, Solana, again, just talking about, Solana ecosystem has been really bullish. The memes, the gaming plays like we talked about earlier with like OTK, there's definitely a lot of money that can be made in this market. And with Render going on to Solana, again, it's just another thing that makes Solana really bullish overall, and just the cryptos that are on it. And I still think, again, I think Render is going to do really well for like an AI GPU depend play. This would definitely be one of my top ones. And again, it's just going to be really, really interesting to see how it all plays out. Now, Render, I will say, if we go to the Render chart, it obviously did have a previous bull run, but even though it did have a previous bull run, it was one of the only cryptos that has surpassed its all-time high already. One of very few cryptos that have surpassed their all-time high from last cycle. There's not a lot of altcoins that surpassed their all-time high from last cycle. Another one that did, that I feel like a lot of people are still kind of sleeping on, which I think could still be a really good L1 to get too, that I didn't talk about, Injective, guys. Injective's last all-time high was around $22, and it ended up going to, or no, sorry. Was this price or market cap? Okay, yeah. So it was around like 20 something bucks, and it reached and went up to around $50. So guys, I wouldn't sleep on Injective either. Yeah, maybe it hasn't been as bullish right now, but arguably that's a lot of cryptos that hasn't been as bullish, and a lot of people haven't necessarily talked about it. But keep Injective on your radars. Definitely keep Injective, and that is on one of my list of. I'm not invested in it, but if someone was like, someone gave me $50,000 and they were like, you can only invest that $50,000 into 5 L1s. Well, Injective would be one of them. Another one would be Solana. Another one would be Kaspa. And then maybe even throw in a little bit on like Sui or like ELF. So Yeah, guys. I don't know if you guys, had any other questions for me for this video. I'm gonna be wrapping it up here in a minute. So if you guys had any other last questions, any of those that are watching, just shoot them and I'll try and answer them for you. But yeah, guys, I know we want to just see the money in our crypto portfolios go crazy, but we just have to be patient. Just have to be patient. Sometimes the best thing to do is to just sit on your hands and do nothing. And then other times, this could be really good ways to, like restructure your portfolio. I know I've been doing that a lot, maybe just, selling some plays that you no longer have like conviction in anymore. Excuse me. And, moving into other plays. And if you're wondering, like, oh, like what plays maybe did you sell in the past and that, you're like, for instance, I was in Cardano back in like 2022. I was in QNT in 2022. I was in a lot of the Ethereum L2s like Optimism and Arbitrum. And believe it or not, like I had ended up selling those um, over the last like year or two up until now because it just seems as if like the L2 narrative for Ethereum and whatnot, it has kind of like faded away. And yeah, maybe it might come back, but just it doesn't seem like that's where all the money's gonna be in this bull run. Like, yeah, Polygon did great last cycle, but sometimes the narratives shift. And this bull run, I really do think the one of the strongest ones for sure is gonna be AI, which is kind of like one of those new emerging narratives. And then you're still gonna have your L1s play out really well too. And then your gaming and your memes. So definitely look into those four narratives when it comes to investing: AI, gaming, memes, and L1s. That's probably where most of the liquidity is going to go to in this bull run. But yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And yeah, guys, make today great. And again, just remember, I'm going to bring this up again right here. Life is not boring. You're just poor. Let that make you mad. Let that piss you off to get yourself moving, to go out there, make the best of your day, mine this fiat, get money from your jobs if you're working, and put all that hard work and put it into crypto. Maybe not put all of it because you want to be risk averse. But if you want a chance at financial freedom, I do think that crypto is going to give you one of those best shots. So yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you guys in the next video.